NBC Right Now. Your local news at 6. This is breaking news.
We start with some breaking news tonight out of Kennewick. Police are at a home right now at the intersection of West 3rd Avenue and Kansas Road and have taped off a home.
Fernanda Lopez joins us right now at the scene. Fernanda, what have you been able to find out so far?
Well, Shannon, Meredith, we don't know much right now. What we do know is police are staging out here outside of this house on West 3rd Avenue and South Kansas Street. They do have the street blocked off for now, and it looks like they're meeting to find out more information. We are waiting for Kennewick Police Sergeant Ken Lattin to come over here and give us some more information. Like I said, we don't really know what's going on right now. They do have crime scene taped up all around this area, and neighbors are also kind of wondering what's going on. Of course, as soon as we find out any new information and we get Sergeant Lattin over here to talk to us, we'll make sure to relay that information onto you. We're live in Kennewick. Fernanda Lopez, NBC Right Now.
All right, thank you, Fernanda. Now to a story making headlines across the nation. Sunday's deadly shooting in Las Vegas has some local ties to the Tri-Cities.
The man accused of going on the killing spree in Las Vegas on Sunday actually racked up several convictions in Benton County more than a decade ago. 31-year-old Jared Miller and his 22-year-old wife are accused of killing 2 police officers and 1 civilian. Afterwards, Amanda Miller shot her husband several times, then turned the gun on herself.
Kennewick School District records show that Jared Miller attended Kennewick High School for 1 semester during his freshman year in 1999. He also has an extensive criminal history in Benton County. In 2001 and 2002, he was convicted of multiple charges, including theft, harassment, assault, and obstructing a police officer. Some new information tonight. A death investigation is underway in the small town of Echo, Oregon. Around 8 this morning, the Umatilla County Sheriff's Office answered a call from a person who claimed that his friend, 30-year-old Daniel Lee Smith, told him that he killed his girlfriend. Deputies went to Smith's home on Leeser Avenue, but Smith was not home at the time. Deputies did find the body of a woman on his property. Smith was eventually tracked down in Stanfield. The woman's name has not been released.
The intersection of 45th and Olympia in Kennewick has seen its fair share of road work already this year. As some of the projects take shape, they're reshaping how traffic flows. As Don Grenese found out today, that traffic flow is now heading into dangerous territory.
Some of the people living in this Kennewick neighborhood are very concerned about some traffic problems. They say many of these issues are stemming right from here.
He saw the camera. Yeah, he gunned it and then he saw the camera and it was like, "Urgh."
Just as we were setting up to interview Brenda Vanderpool, a car came speeding down her 25-mile-per-hour street. It's become more common recently during construction of the nearby roundabout at 45th and Olympia.
We anticipated a little bit more traffic, but it's been quite excessive.
The currently gravelly roundabout is a tight turn, and semi-truck drivers know it. Now they head down 42nd and up Kent, where Vanderpool lives in what used to be a kid-friendly neighborhood. She's already called the city to voice her concerns.
I was on hold for approximately 17 minutes, and then I just disconnected the call because I wasn't getting anywhere.
The Vanderpools were told they cannot have orange cones on their street after they tried to put out a few to slow down that traffic. They say they will be putting out yellow slow down flags when children are outside playing.
Certainly the little children in this area ride their bikes in. We try to teach them safety and to watch for cars, but at the speed that some of these vehicles are going, they wouldn't have a chance, honestly, if they were to pull out in front of some of these vehicles.
The Vanderpools did get in touch with Kennewick Police on Friday. They were told a traffic officer will be in contact with them and come to inspect that area. But according to Brenda, just now I spoke with her, they're still waiting. Live in the studio, Don Grenese, NBC Right Now.
Thank you, Don. Well, more law enforcement, more citations. The click it or ticket numbers are in, and the number of citations are up. Between May 19th and June 1st, officers all across the state have been cracking down on unbuckled and distracted drivers. In Benton and Franklin counties, 136 seatbelt infractions were written, in addition to 43 cell phone tickets. Now that's up from 72 seatbelt and 43 cell phone violations from last year. In Yakima County, there were 76 seatbelt violations and 30 cell phone tickets. That's up from 35 and 23 respectively. These extra patrols are part of the Target Zero campaign.
Time now for our first check of the weather out there, and we've enjoyed clear skies and summery temperatures around our region with upper 70s and 80s, but we've also seen the winds starting to pick up. Here in our satellite and radar, you see a few high clouds going through the region and a little bit of moisture over on the west side of the Cascades. That's setting up pressure differences that are going to be bringing our winds up to 30 and 40 miles an hour in some locations. Red flag warnings valid until 8 o'clock tonight and probably being reissued for tomorrow from 2 until 8 o'clock in the evening hours. It looks like again it's going to be another breezy day coming up with mostly sunny skies and highs upper 70s and 80s. I'm back in a couple of minutes and we can check out the detail of the extended forecast. Meredith?
Thank you, Tim. In Northwest News, the man hailed as a hero in the Seattle Pacific University shooting spoke out publicly for the first time today. John Mice is credited with pepper spraying and tackling the Seattle police. The man Seattle police say opened fire on the campus. One person was killed. Today he released a statement on Facebook thanking the public for their support, but admitted that the support was hard to accept. And with the recent string of violence on school campuses, officials everywhere are on the lookout, even locally in the Yakima Valley. Today, the Selah School District performed their first ever active shooter drill. Chris Luther went to the drill and joins us live at Selah Intermediate School. Chris, what was the scenario for the drill today?
Meredith, the situation that played out here at Selah Intermediate School involved a parent who was angry about custody of their child. The shooter, played by an actor, brought a gun to school and pretended to shoot the principal. That's when this incredibly lifelike drill started.
Help! I'm bleeding! Help!
It's a situation we all hope our schools are prepared for, but never have to face, a school shooting.
Aid is coming, okay? Just hold pressure on this.
Nobody likes to think that something like this would ever happen anywhere. But all you have to do is look at the news and know it does happen. We need to be ready. We need to have our people ready.
Actors posing as injured kids line the hallways.
Help!
As SWAT personnel act out the scenario of an armed intruder in the Selah Intermediate School.
We got more injured down at that end. Okay.
They go room by room to find and apprehend the shooter, then rush kids out of the school and tend to the injured.
It's not just about locking down. It's about evacuating if you need to evacuate, but it's about getting kids and staff into a safe area as soon as possible.
The specifics of the drill were only known to a few individuals before it actually started. The police, school administrators, and emergency personnel are acting as if this is actually happening.
We're gonna take care of your kids, okay?
The drill is so lifelike, some actors even played the role of concerned parents trying to enter the school and help their kids get out of the shooter's way.
People learn by doing. And that's what this is about. We're looking at and testing the plans and procedures that are in place right now.
It's not real, but we still had those feelings that we needed to be reacting and responding appropriately. So it was a little tense.
Help! Please, anyone!
A spine-chilling day, even just for a drill. But if done right, this drill can help save lives in the worst-case scenario. The Selah superintendent told me that this drill was in direct response to Sandy Hook and other shootings around the country. The hope is that this drill can help prepare our area for this terrible, terrible situation. Live in Selah, Chris Luther, NBC Right Now.
Thanks, Chris. Well, still ahead, a stunning perspective of the dangers of wildfires.
Coming up, some incredible video of the wildfire burning near Bend, Oregon that still has firefighters on edge there.
This just in, some details are starting to come in about the crime scene at a home at the intersection on West 3rd Avenue and Kansas Street.
Fernanda Lopez joins us once again at the scene in Kennewick. Fernanda, what can you tell us?
Well, Shana, Meredith, we are finding a little bit more information about what's happening behind me at this house on West 3rd Avenue and South Kansas Street. And I am here with Sergeant Ken Lattin. What do we know right now?
So right at 5 o'clock this afternoon, stepfather arrives home, finds his 16-year-old female and 12-year-old male stepchildren deceased from multiple gunshot wounds. There was a handgun found at the scene nearby, and right now we don't know what all happened, but we are investigating. We're waiting for the WSP Crime Lab to arrive to help us process this scene. We're talking to neighbors to see what they may have heard or seen this afternoon, but right now it is a tragedy.
So, any idea as to where you're going to go on with this investigation? What's next?
Right now, it's just a matter of trying to talk to people in the neighborhood to see what else may have been happening here today, who may have seen somebody come or go. and now just make sure we're securing the crime scene for the forensic lab to arrive.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. And like we said, this whole area is blocked off, just this area around this house, and it looks like it is still an active investigation. And of course, as soon as we get any more information, we'll be sure to relay that over to you. Live in Kennewick, Fernanda Lopez, NBC Right Now.
Thank you, Fernanda. A couple of fires to tell you about tonight. First is a fire on Willow Street this afternoon that destroyed a home.
Yakima firefighters responded to reports of an explosion inside the house. Initial reports say that no one was inside the home at the time of the explosion and no one was injured. The home, however, is a complete loss.
And check out what they're dealing with this morning in Oregon. This is video taken near Bend. It's time-lapse of the Two Bulls fire, which burned nearly 6,200 acres over the weekend. At one point, 40 homes were threatened. Calm winds helped crews get the fire under control this morning, but winds tonight and tomorrow could spell trouble for firefighters.
A traffic alert. Construction continues on Burden Boulevard in Pasco. This week, crews will begin work on the storm drain system in that area, and then they'll also be installing new street light poles. The eastbound outside lane of Burden Boulevard will be closed from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. during the week, and when they finish that work, they will move to the other side of Burden Boulevard. City of Yakima will shut down part of 40th Avenue for the next few nights to work on the city's drinking water system. The city will close 40th Avenue between Lincoln and Summit View Avenue overnight until Wednesday. That work is scheduled from 8 in the evening until 6:30 in the morning. The city says that drivers should use alternate routes or prepare for some delays.
Well, coming up in sports, the Mariners with a day game out in Florida.
The M's hoping to head back home with their 8th win in 9 games. We'll have the highlights from Tampa next.
We continue to follow a sad story out of Kennewick. 2 children found dead inside a home this afternoon.
Kennewick police tell us that around 5 o'clock this afternoon they were called to a home at the intersection of West 3rd Avenue and Kansas Street. Inside, officers say that they found the bodies of a 16-year-old girl and a 12-year-old boy. A handgun was found near the bodies, but police say they have no suspects at this time. A death investigation is underway in the small town of Echo, Oregon. Around 8 this morning, the Umatilla County Sheriff's Office answered a call from a person who claimed that his friend, 30-year-old Daniel Lee Smith, told him that he killed his girlfriend. Deputies went to Smith's home on Leeser Avenue, but he was not home at the time. Deputies did find the body of a woman on his property. Smith was eventually tracked down in Stanfield.
And recapping that weather, red flag warnings are valid until about 8 o'clock tonight for high fire dangers. And after the winds pick up again in our region coming up tomorrow, we'll be back to high fire dangers once again tomorrow. Back to you guys over there.
All right, thank you, Tim. And finally tonight, UConn was well represented in Washington, D.C. today.
President Obama welcomed both the men's and women's basketball teams to the White House to celebrate their NCAA championships. This was the 9th time that the women's program brought home a national title, so pretty much old hat for them. The 4th for the men's team. Both coaches joined their players as President Obama congratulated the Huskies. Doesn't happen very often that both the men's and women's teams win national championships in basketball.
That's pretty much impossible, especially considering how wild this year's men's NCAA tournament was. Women, you know, they go to the championship and win pretty much every year. For the men, though, that's quite the thrill.
Absolutely.
They're doing something right.
Yeah. Must be in the water. We'll be back at 11 with more. We'll see you then.
Bye.